Hello movie junkies, welcome back to Twin Flicks, where we always celebrate the magic of movies and most importantly physical media with you. Now if you're new to this channel, what we usually do here is just side by side 4K versus Blu-ray comparisons, meaning I take the previous release Blu-ray and I compare it to the newly released 4K UHD, do side by side screenshots so you can compare the difference for yourself, and I do a little review about the 4K as well. If you haven't yet, check out my newest review for The Lost Boys. Never thought this would come out in 4K, and it did. So I compared this to the Blu-ray, and a couple that I have coming up is one of my favorite films. In Bruges got a 4K UHD treatment from Kino Lorber. I'm going to compare it to the previously released Blu-ray. And I've got some others coming up as well, more than a handful. October is going to be stacked. We got Fright Night, Scream 2, Columbia Classics Volume 3. It's a stacked month, and so I'm really excited for what's all coming out. It's a great time to be a physical media lover, physical media collector. So if you haven't yet, consider hitting that subscribe button and also make sure to hit that notification bell so you can be notified when all these new videos drop. Now, earlier this year, Kino Lorber partnered with Paramount Pictures to license out a number of their catalog titles, and Tropic Thunder was their first outing with Paramount Pictures, with a fresh 4K restoration from the 35mm negative and HDR Dolby Vision approved by Ben Stiller. And this does also include the director's cut on disc 2. However, the director's cut didn't receive the UHD treatment, but it still offers the exact same 4K restoration, only on a 1080p Blu-ray disc, not 2160p, as the UHD is. And I will give my very quick thoughts on the director's cut, how it looks after the comparison review. So let's take a look at the Blu-ray versus the 4K UHD. See which one holds up better, and as usual, I have side-by-side screenshots so you can compare the differences for yourself. So let's get to it. This is an absolute gorgeous native 4K presentation that's clearer, fresher, and razor sharp than I've seen it. It showcases all the tremendous benefits of what a 4K UHD can do, especially when you're comparing it to the previous release Blu-ray. I mean, first, right off the bat, the entire color palette is much lusher, richer, and more vibrant with excellent contrast and saturation balances, creating a brighter and more lively image. The primary colors are deep and vibrant and rich, especially the lush greens of the terrain. This is how the 4K UHD Platoon should have looked. Black levels are incredibly impressive. They're very deep. Skin tones are also more convincing and natural. The 4K UHD is also a very significant upgrade in image clarity and finer detail, resulting in a very remarkably improved picture quality. From stitching of clothing, fabric textures look crisper, lining of the foliage in the jungle, to the skin textures and facial close-ups, seeing all the imperfections and stubble looks absolutely flawless. The wounds on the skin are more detailed and visible, especially that decapitated head scene. Guns and other objects are likewise also more detailed and have a nice shine to them depending on the shot. And there's a lot more activity with the detail in the background, things I've never really noticed before, which is always a plus. Now, one thing the Blu-ray suffered from is contrast, being a little too aggressive, resulting in some overblown whites, some oppressive shadows. This is all fixed on this 4K UHD. I noticed none of this when I compare it to the Blu-ray. I also noticed on the Blu-ray that there is some edge enhancement and source noise. The 4K also fixes all of this. It's much more improved, cleaner. There's no edge enhancements or noise issues at all. I mean, this is a pristine 4K UHD presentation. As for grain, there is a little light grain presence that increases the filmic qualities and has a nice, richer cinematic appearance to it than the Blu-ray did. Guys, this is a clear winner out of Kino Lorber's Paramount Pictures 4K UHD titles, and I just cannot wait to see what they have for us next out of the Paramount catalog. All right, now we're going to get into the director's cut, which again is sourced from the same new 4K restoration. It's just on a 1080p Blu-ray. And it has all the same great benefits and improvements as the UHD does. Of course, it's just, as I said, in 1080p, not 2160p. It looks fantastic and handles extremely well. I compared it to the Blu-ray, and yeah, I mean, it wipes out the previous Blu-ray. As far as the audio, it's the same DTS HD lossless 5.1 track as on the previous released Blu-ray, but it's a banger of a track that goes full throttle, especially with the aggressive amount of firefights and explosions throughout the film that is distributed and nicely balanced throughout the sound field. The surround channels are very active and impressive, from flying splintered wood, debris, ricocheted bullets across the battlefield, that ricochets off each discrete channel, immersing you completely during the battle sequences. There is also a constant ambient surround effect, especially in the jungle and music. It sounds very realistic. The LFE low end's presence is incredible, with a lot of heft and punch to it, while delivering low end pulses that add weight to the on-screen chaos. It all gives your home theater a great workout. So for Kino Lorber's 4K UHD presentation of Tropic Thunder, I'm giving the video a 5 out of 5. It is just a beautiful, pristine image quality that I wish the 4K UHD of Platoon had. As for the audio, I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. Now help me out here, because I really love your opinion. When you compare the two different screenshots here between the Blu-ray and the 4K, which do you think looks better? Or do you see any comparison at all? Let me know over in the comments. Well, I want to thank you for taking a few minutes here and hanging out with me with this brief 4K UHD comparison review to the previously released Blu-ray. Again, stay tuned for a ton of new 4K versus Blu-ray comparisons. Again, October is just stacked to the brim. Can't wait. Very excited what's coming out. And as always, keep doing your part in keeping physical media alive, and I'll see you next time.